Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to Mufc Realist TV. This is the post-match highlights. We're talking about, of course, Manchester United are through to the fourth round. We absolutely went through cruise control over Wigan, but it wasn't that pretty, wasn't that good. We're going to talk about all the highlights, everything in terms of match reaction. I have Jarvis Corner in the house, Jarvis Cocker. There will be more people coming in. Please smash the like. And if you're coming in directly from the watch along, please enjoy the show. Make a cup of tea, make a tea, coffee, whatever you're drinking. It's the aftermath party, guys. Let's do this. Let's get ready to rumble.
Now, for the thousands in attendance and the millions watching around the world
on MUFC Realist TV.
Ladies and gentlemen, from Mandalay Bay, Las Vegas, let's get ready to rumble!
Jarvis, are you there with me? How many chances do I give you? I can't hear you. You're on mute. You're on mute, my friend. Hang on. Unmute yourself. Listen, how many chances can you give somebody to score a goal? Like, we had 33 chances and only 2 goals, And how are you doing? How are you feeling? 2-0, cruise control.
Yeah, that's Liverpool level, like 30 chances. They didn't score one against us on Anfield. But then again, we played against a team who's 52 positions below us on the table.
Yeah.
And I'm a little bit disappointed. I thought we were going to do better, but a win is a win.
It's like a little bit of a nonchalance going there, like, playing in League One, knocking the ball around a little bit, no urgency, no tempo. Marcus Rashford, in all honesty, like, screaming at the second half, get him off the field. Like, there was no, if I compare like a Marcus Rashford on the left, if I compare, even for Kundapalisi to come on, and then even young Garnacho, oh my God, what is this guy doing? Shooting.
Yeah. Marcus Rashford, ladies and gentlemen, and all the rest of you guys out there, Marcus Rashford, what is he doing? He slows down the play every time he has the ball. He tries to dribble, and then he's greedy and tries to shoot.
Mm-hmm.
Repeat. And that's all he does. So I can't even understand how Ten Hag can keep him on and not putting an example, because it's about when you're playing against a team like Wigan and they are playing a low block and trying to defend, they have no chance. They know they have no chance, but we have to be better. We need to have higher tempo, higher precision. The ball needs to flow. And when Rashford always slows down the play, one person is hindering the attack. So in a way, I'm not happy, but at the end of the day,
it is what it is. It's like I think we
get
can't
too negative, but I don't think Rashford had a good game.
He didn't have a good game, but we're not here to criticize. We're just here to apply our critical thinking in certain ways. And we're through to the fourth round, and it's going to be another draw, and that's what matters. Can we go all the way through like last season? We went through all the way through finals and lost against City. We will see. But we got to talk about the game. We're going to talk about the first half. We're going to talk about the second half. I wrote it in the thumbnail. We smashed Wigan. Of course we did, because I don't think we ever played off our best football. Like, it looked like we were playing first gear, second gear. Like, we never switched up the tempo whatsoever. But in a way, I was kind of disappointed to see like this was a perfect opportunity to actually display, to, show that you have a little bit of intent, and, because you're playing the lesser team. But again, I think it's a little bit of a nonchalance coming there, rolling up to Wigan like rock stars and knocking the ball around.
Arrogance. Call it whatever.
I don't think, but I don't think, honest to God, I don't think like, they parked the bus. I think they tried to play advanced football. Like, they was trying to hit us on the break. almost succeeded. But at the end of the day, it's a levels between a Premier League club and a championship, or
It is.
League One. 100%. Anyway, big up for everyone that's coming in here raw in the chat. I mean, I can see what Yoli Malmini is also repeating what I was saying. We had so many chances in my life. Jarvis, I give you many chances
33.
to come in time, and 33 times, 33 sneakers, 2 goals. The only thing they
But
scored
this stat, it highlights our problem for the season. We are the third lowest teams in the Premier League when come to score goals. We have Sheffield United and one other team below us on the table. We have scored 22 goals so far this season. And this highlights the problem. We are too greedy. We are too greedy. We don't pass the ball. It's a team game. It's not about Rashford cutting in and try to shoot every time, or McTominay coming running through and always look at the goal and try to shoot. And Højlund and everybody. It's about team game. You got to play the ball, and that's how it is. If you see Manchester City, if you see Liverpool, if you see a lot of other teams, you see how they do it. But we don't usually do that. But when we scored a goal, Rashford passed to Dalot. It was a perfect cutback pass, and Dalot had time and put it beautiful into the goal. So in a way, as soon as we pass the ball, we score a goal, and that's the difference.
Yeah, true. And big up for everyone that's tuning in. Sorry, it's very late for me. It's like past 5 o'clock in the morning, so I look a little bit sleepy. But if I look at the first half, Rashford was a little bit static. There was no movement. We looked, I don't know. We just kept knocking it backward, forward, like knocking it, but they're not creating any chances. Again, when you actually start, McTominay, you have zero creativity. And again, he offered nothing. Rashford offered a little bit, but very wasteful and very predictable. And when you're playing against a League One team and you can't even pass them and you can't even put the ball through the net, I mean, that just tells you that you're not, you're not at your races, right? Kobbie Maino, sublime first half. If you look at his versus Wigan first half, 100% dribble completed, 92% pass accuracy, 46 touches in the first half, 33/36 passes completed, 33 out of 36 passes completed, 6 ground duels, 1 out of 7, 5 tackles, 1 out of 5. That is somebody that was running that midfield, to be honest.
I agree. Kobbie Maino, what a player. He's the gem. We got to face it. He is the gem. He's the best player we have in this team. And he's 18 years old. It says it all, but he's the gem.
Says it all. Good evening to you.
Before we read out every comment, I just want to say hi to everybody and mention their name. Can we just go through it? I want to say hi to Yale, Griff, Stephanie, Sanjay. We have Red J in the house. We have John Johnson. Lillis is always here. Thank you, Lillis. You are the best.
Scotty at the wheel.
Scotty at the wheel. Who else do we have?
Scotty. John Johnson. We have Rugby is the best. Happy win.
Ruby is the best. Thought you had
Rugby is the best. Happy to win. Big to see you as well, Rugby to win. What are you saying, Rugby? Good point, 100%. Blanc, Rod J. We have Twalawamba, Peerley, haven't seen you for a long time. Good evening to you as well. Eva Bosses is here, the same old usual suspects. Listen, Lilis, how you doing? Kaisi Bratte Bre. You know what I mean? Kenny Fan TV is here. Everyone that's coming off fresh from the watch along. Carl Pearson is here as well. I haven't seen you, Carl, for a long time. How you doing, my friend? Should have been 5 or 6, 100%. Let's stop that. It should have been 5 or 6 in the first half, to be honest. And what about poor Højlund? He should have scored twice at least.
Yeah, he had a header that was beautiful.
A header,
it was a good header. But the goalkeeper was actually good. He had some decent saves, I must say. But sure, we should have been 5 or 6. Yeah. Oh,
the stream has finally started with Luan is here all the way from Canada. Big up to you, Luan, as well. How you doing, guys? Please smash the like. If you haven't subscribed, do that right now. I want to talk to you about Garnacho. I think I was super impressed with Garnacho in this match all along, because there's a difference between when you see what a winger is supposed to do, right? Fearless, attacking, putting crosses in, and also almost finishing. What a beautiful shot! They hit the crossbar. Like, come on, the ball didn't just go in. But then I want to do that comparison. Like, I'm not here to slag Rashford off, but he's miles away, the 20-year-old, and even Pelistri, what we're looking to ship off. Come on, Pelistri that came in like the 5-10 minutes. It shows what a baller that guy is, right? The only one that puts in crosses as well. So you basically have, according to my opinion, Garnacho is the only one that puts in crosses, and Pelistri. But Rashford, he only shoots. There's no cross. And if it's a cross, it's just a misfortunate misfire.
Yeah, he's very greedy. He's greedy. He wants that goal. That's the only thing that's in his mind. I want that goal. So, yeah, it is what it is.
It is. Carl Pearson saying Maino was terrific. You're tuning in from Twitter. I can see that as well. What else do we have here? I don't need stats right now, what Ivo Bosic say. I know Maino is man of the match, and 100%. There's 2 people that I want to name, and I said 3 people that I have in the man of the match contender. I was supposed to do from the website, but it didn't work today. We have the man of the match polling system, but due to technical problems, we cannot do it. So 3 players that is in my mind, Jarvis, and that's definitely the goal scorer number 1, Diego Dalot, Garnacho, and Kobbie Maino. They were the 2 outstanding. Again, Scott McTominay, I didn't see much of him. Missed a couple opportunities. I don't know what he's doing there. I just don't know, right? And is this the way we're going to play forward from now? I don't think so, man.
Yeah, talking about the way we are going to play forward, I know that a lot of people have addressed a style of play from Ten Hag. A lot of people who are critical to Ten Hag say that he don't have a style of play. And I think actually you can see today when he play against a lower league team, we don't have a style of play. We have patterns. I can see some patterns, but we don't have a
talk to us about the patterns.
Yeah, because we have patterns, but it becomes on the individual players. For example, when Maino plays DM, we have some patterns that repeats, but when McTominay plays DM, we don't see those patterns. So it's on the individual to create those patterns,
really?
But we don't have a style of play. That worries me a lot. That Ten Hag can't get this team going, because he has had 1.5 season now to really get things going, and a style of play shouldn't depend on individuals. Yeah. It should be the
George,
do you
have anything to report? Like feelings police is here?
Well, I don't know. FA Cup draw. Maybe that we can report that afterwards.
Okay, I have only one thing to report, and that's Rashford. And Dale Brailsford is sitting there like the smiling assassin. He's the one that you hire for you as a HR, especially consultant, to review who you're going to fire. Like, and has interview with everyone 5 minutes. It's like they're smiling. Okay, what are you doing here? Okay, bye, you're out. He's sitting there next to David Gill, by the way. So there was some photos and some rumors today talking about that they want to bring David Gill back on, and I'm all to that. But I'm just wondering, because would David Gill like to work again with under the sort of the Glazers, or what capacity will he have? Will it be the CEO? What happened to Blanc? Speculations. I mean, I don't know if you saw this story today, and he was sitting there in the stand, David Gill. So big up, and also condolences also to one of the legends that passed away today of football. We're talking about Beckenbauer, 100%. Like, I remember Beckenbauer.
Franz Beckenbauer, Libro, yes, Mr. Libro himself.
Mr. Libro, yeah, the Libro.
He was the Libro. I don't know if you guys know him, but a lot of people in this chat are at my age, so you actually know Franz Beckenbauer. He was a legend in the West Germany team in the 70s, and he also won the World Cup with West Germany in 1990 when he was the manager, and that was a boring championship, but West Germany
I know what a Libro is.
1-0 against Argentina in the final.
Yeah, but I know what a Libro is.
Argentina to win. Maradona.
Yeah, I remember. But Libro for me is like, the final man before the goalkeeper, the sweeper, like, the typical Harry Maguire, the tall stature, right?
Well,
just there to sweep.
It's actually more of a, if you know how, I would say, Josh Stones plays at Manchester City when he have the ball in the back and he drives it forward. That's how a Libro plays. He's like a deep, really deep lying playmaker. It's an old deep lying playmaker.
Anyway, Alien 10, a big up to you, Peter. NGL, that game was crap. Wigan are a bum team. And then I don't know what Willie's going on, but with kid vaping at Wigan game, why not eat puka pie? I don't know what the hell was that. But anyway, big up to you as well. Maddie is in the house saying, hello, y'all. The show can go on. The show can continue. Not too shabby, not too happy, not too sad, and just mellow, like mellow chilled, right? It's just good, like, we got this game over and done with, and we can play the next game, 4th round. And who do you think we're going to get in the draw? Like, who can we get?
Someone in the VR knows it. I don't remember the names, but it was I think it was a 3rd tier and a 4th tier team from lower leagues. So so it's a good draw for us. Actually, it will be an easy game in a way.
Yeah,
but it's never easy.
But we certainly cannot play like this against Spurs 100%. I mean, again, it's the same old story where you have like an open midfield, like, in the, of course we could play this expensive football to leave it open in the mid because we're playing Wigan. They're not going to threaten us that much. But there was moments where they actually got through, they slipped through the cracks. But honest to God, like, we cannot play that midfield, like, to play 2 number 8s. Scott McTominay creates no creativity, He's just like a Lipton horse just jungling through, like, and then you have crash test dummy Marcus Rashford just shooting and just going. And you can't even pass a League One defender. So you got to look yourself in the mirror as well. So I don't know, man. I just see that first half was just pretty much passing the ball, knocking around, not finding no movement, no lack of tempo. I don't know, was it instructed? But at the end of the day, like, it was an easy cruise control. I would say we didn't smash him, but in a way we kind of got it through, right?
Yeah, but you could see it after 1 minute that the players weren't switch on. They were nonchalant. They were like having the time. You could see it how they do on the ball, and they are it's not good enough. So in a way, I don't think they took this serious, and well, why should they? They were 33 chances.
Listen, big up team. Thank you, VR Room, for supplying that information. Newport or Eastleigh? Are we getting Newport or Eastleigh? I don't even know who they are. Newport I heard, but Eastleigh never heard of them, to be honest. Newport County, I don't know anything about them, to be honest. Do you?
No, I don't. I heard the name before, but I don't know what kind of jerseys they have or where in England they are placed. I don't know nothing. So, but
Eastleigh is a non-league team.
Wow.
I mean, big up.
I hope we get to play them away. At
really?
Least. Yeah, we can play at a really small stadium.
Big up, everyone. Nico Avi is coming in here. Good evening, everyone. Make sure we bring back Onana from AFCON to play FA Cup in the 4th round against the weakest team. No, play by Yander. Listen, at the end of the day, William Connolly, their manager, looked like a council estate dad. What are you smoking, man? Listen, we are getting a little bit of reinforcement. People are coming in slowly after being celebrating or maybe streaking around their neighbor's garden. We're talking about Uncle Jimmy. How you going, Uncle Jimmy? You got a little bit of feedback there.
Big up. Oh, have I got feedback? Oh, sorry.
Oh yeah.
Right. Let me change my settings. Maybe. What is it? An echo?
No,
is it like an echo?
No, it's not. Yeah, it's an echo.
Okay. Let me. I'm gonna have to leave and come back again. I'm sorry, man.
Do you have YouTube open?
Yeah. Maybe yes. I think yes. Maybe let me check that. I'll come back.
See you, Jimmy. Jimmy. Acha. I'm looking forward to Jimmy to come back. We also have other people coming in. If you guys want to come in and have a say later on, we can definitely post a link because it's an open therapy session. But we don't have anything therapy. Like, we just chill, mellow. Listen, Jarvis, talk to us about this game in general from a technical perspective.
Yeah, well, we are just a much better team. So there is no tactical game in a way. We are levels better than them. So I'm not sure what to say, but when we play like team who play a low block, but when they get the ball, they hold it to the ball. They try to counterattack us. we have to be precise in our passing. We have to have tempo on the ball. When we lose the ball, we got to counter press really hard to get the ball back, and of course take our chances. But today we didn't look like we were up for it. But the opposition was so bad, so we won anyway. But have we played against like let's say a Brighton or some mid-table team, we would have lost today, because the attitude on some of these players are not good enough, and we know this. And it's always the usual suspects. We sit here game after game and talk about them. It's McTominay and it's Rashford. Both of them are not good enough.
But why is it so? Like, is it more of nonchalance? Is it more that we are at the top of the food chain? We are the big boys rolling into town. It seems to be the same pattern.
They believe their own hype. Yeah. It's a mental issue. It's a mental issue. You can see the attitude. It's almost like you see the face of Rashford. It reminds me of. Do you remember Trent Alexander last season? Arnold. He was always like this. He was like head high, arrogant, nonchalant, and then his levels felt off. He had a bad season last season.
Yeah.
But now he cut his hair. He's back to it. And
he's back to it.
Yeah,
I don't know, guys. Let us know in the VR room, in the chat room. What do you think? Why is the main problem? Why are we kind of switching off because we are petulant? Like, we are just, I don't know. Not petulant is not the word, but nonchalant. Like, playing the lesser teams. But as soon as we play the higher level teams, we seem to put in a gear. Like, at least we try, right? I don't know. I can't find the answer, but I'm just worried of moving forward from here. Like, of course, Casemiro was not playing. What happened to young Amad Diallo? He was not on the bench. Was he injured, or was he just sick? Or
I was trying to search it up on Twitter. I couldn't find anything, actually. He wasn't even in the game, in the squad. So I don't know if anyone knows what happened to Ahmad. Put it in the chat. But we know that Eriksen had some illness. I think it was the flu, and Anthony is injured. So, but I think that's actually a good thing, because Garnacho, he was fantastic on the right side. So from now on, we know that Garnacho both can play on both sides.
Actually, true. Big up Captain Kevin. He's absolutely spot on what you're saying. Like, it's similar when you working in a dead end job and you're not happy. You're overexceeded. You stay. Sometimes it's just you need a little bit of a fresh start. Maybe play in another club or play for another job, and you'll be happy again. And he's back. He's back. Well,
let's give it a go. Let's give it a go. How's that? Is that
Gives
better?
And go. Yeah. Good. Yeah. Take it away, my buddy. How are you feeling?
Yeah, no, I'm good. I just, the whole game today, when I saw the lineup, I was just looking at one you know what player I'm looking at, obviously, because
say it,
Kobbie. It's your son. It's your son.
Well, yeah, he's a member of the family, so we have to watch him very closely. But now I was just watching. I just wanted to see Kobbie sort of playing with a slightly different system, obviously, but also playing with slightly different players, because normally Garnacho doesn't play on the right, so that's a slightly different dynamic. And you know what? When I'm watching him, I know everyone's disappointed. Everyone said, "Oh, the performance was bad" or whatever, and it wasn't a great performance in the sense of considering who we're playing against. We were in control of the game. There was no question about it. But I think they could have been way more adventurous. I think there was so many moments where they could have tried to do. Even if, flex your muscles a little bit. You're Manchester United, you're playing against Wigan in the cup. Just flex your muscles a bit. Try some things that you don't normally try when you're playing the Premier League, because every opponent is actually coming out to play against you. So I would have liked to see a lot of different things. But when I look at the most joyful moments in the match, for me, they've all involved the young players that I've been praising.
Yeah,
they've all involved the youngest players in the team. So when I look at the best combinations that we've seen, of course, Bruno's always a linchpin of the, in terms of when we're trying to build attacks. But if you take Bruno out of it, apart from Bruno, all the joyful moments ahead of Bruno were happening with the youngsters. It was Garnacho, Maino, and Højlund. So you're looking at everything good that's happening in terms of the attack, what these kids are trying to do. And everyone was criticizing them for missing the chances. Of course we should criticize them, because they need to finish those chances. You don't get those chances a lot. You won't get them in the Premier League. So this is your practice ground. This is where you should finish those chances so that you can get used to finishing. And then when you play in the league, you can actually use that when you play in the Premier League. So that's disappointing. But I'm excited about watching the future of how Manchester United could potentially attack. Everything that was good that was happening in that final third was coming from these kids, from these children. Rashford actually played a good role today. He almost played like an uncle figure. You know, he played this role where he was almost kind of dictating to the kids on where he thinks they should be and things. And he was quite vocal today. I don't know.
Was
if
it that
people
way he
noticed
was
this.
slowing down? Was that way he was slowing down and pointing?
He was slowing down, and he was trying to dictate which way should we attack. And I think that's a good thing. I know he's not perfect, but it's good for the kids to see that Rashford's there to kind of help them, guide them through it, because that builds that, again, it's building the dressing room, it's building the team momentum, building the spirit. But I'm excited about the future attack of Manchester United. You add a few good experienced players in there, finished products. I think you've got a really good foundation for how we're going to attack going forward. Kobbie Maino is a particular excitement for me, and I can't stop talking about this kid because I really enjoy watching him do his thing on the pitch. He's so comfortable, whichever way you're trying to look at it, whether he's going back or going forward. He's very, very comfortable. When I look at the mistakes that he makes a mistake because he's taking a risk. But when he was taking a risk, he's already calculated how he can recover from that risk. So when he loses the ball or he misplaces a pass, you look at how he gets back into the right position for the team to recover. It's absolutely amazing for a player who's playing his very first season in these top level matches. So I cannot fault the kid so far. I'm sorry, I struggle to find, what I can criticize about him. I think he needs to be protected. I agree with that to a certain extent, but I cannot fault his spirit, his attitude, his work ethic. He doesn't tire out. He doesn't slow down. And when he slows down, he's doing it on purpose because he's trying to preserve his energy, because he's read the game. He can see that there's about to be an attack building up, so he'll preserve his energy at the right time. And he's a very intelligent kid. Love seeing it. Love seeing it. Love seeing it.
I totally agree. It is the future. And I mean, that's why I was surprised to hear, a couple of days ago that we are looking to sort of ship a lot of the youngsters out for loans or sell. Like we're talking about Alvaro, we're talking about Pelistri. We're talking about potentially Ahmad was also calling for fake news that he's going as well. So we are literally looking at getting Manscaped playing with a thin squad, and 100%. I think that Kobbie Maino is the one for the future, but at the same time, they're also talking about not giving Casemiro a contract or whatever, ship him off. But we need somebody to play, because he cannot play the single pivot alone. And what's your thoughts and feelings regarding that, Jimmy?
Well, I think it depends, because I don't. For me, people have said Hannibal's going because obviously he wants to start games and he's not going to start games at Manchester United. But at the same time, I'm saying, well, Scott McTominay's starting games. So are you telling me that you're sending Hannibal away to accommodate Scott McTominay to start games? So if that's your thinking, then that makes no sense to me. I'm sorry, and people might give me reasons why that makes sense. But for me, I keep insisting, we need to try with these young players.
100%.
It's not working with the players that we've tried for the last 7 seasons with your Scott McTominays. So let's try these kids. I know they might not win all the games that they play, but they're going to get used to playing in the Premier League. So it wasn't working the other way. Just try it a different way, because we haven't got a choice. We're not going to buy players. We know that financially the club is not in a position where they can even consider buying any players of any significance, really, any players that can make a difference to our team. So realistically, what's the alternative? Keep the same drod that's failed for 7 years, or gamble, send the drod away and gamble with the kids, and then see if that works. And if that doesn't work, guess what? The other one wasn't going to work anyway, because these guys have failed for 7 years. You can't keep giving him chance after chance after chance after chance every season. Chances. Oh, maybe he's going to do. No, it's not worked. So give the kids a chance. See what they can do. I don't mind seeing Kobbie Maino next to Hannibal. I don't mind that. People will laugh at me, but for me, I've seen everything else. So why not try something else? I'm still dying to see Ericsson next to Maino, like on a long-term basis, to see how does that work? You know, 100%. see if they can. So there's these things that need to be tried that Ten Hag just isn't willing to try. But this stubbornness sometimes is almost baseless, because I'm all for people who are stubborn. I like stubborn people, because I think, you know, stubborn people are set in their ways, and they normally have very good reasons for that. It comes from, you know, there's a foundation for why they feel that way about life in general. So normally you find that they're people that are very strong-minded, and they're very opinionated, and normally very well researched. If people are permanently stubborn, they're normally well researched. So I'm all for stubborn managers. But if you've been stubborn and it hasn't worked, try something else. Stubbornness means what's at the base of it? Okay, I'm stubborn in my system. But why are you stubborn in your system? You're stubborn in your system because you think your system will make you successful. So that's the basis. Success is the actual base of the conversation. But your system isn't making you successful. So go back to your base, then find something else to be stubborn about so that it can help you be successful. You can't just be stubborn for no reason. You know, there has to be, you know, some reason for it. So I think he's going to have to trust these kids, send players that have not worked at the club, send them away, whether people like it or fans like it or not. Fans don't like him anyway as it is, so it doesn't make much difference. Send them away, see if something else works. So I think he has to be brave, and he's going to have to take a very, very big risk, maybe the biggest one he's ever had to take in his career.
Yeah, because if you look at it, like, you know, the reports were saying that they want to sort of ship off the two highest earner in the club, Carlos Casemiro and Rafael Varane. I mean, Casemiro is on 350 a week, and then you have Varane on 340, and then third in line is actually Marcus Rashford doing fuck all this season, you know, on 300. Then you have Anthony Martial on 250. Mason Mount comes in there slightly under Martial with 250 as well. And we haven't seen nothing about him this season at all. So I don't know. I mean, I love to see the kids, but the kids were never given a chance. Like, you know, we have a Gore on the bench today as well. I was expecting. And in cup games like this is where you expect to see, like, some of the kids. This is the tradition, right?
Yeah.
But I think
the Ahmed one is worrying. Ahmed is a big talking point for me. And you know, people are saying, he's ill. You know, people are saying he's ill. So maybe it was. Is he ill? Where is he? Why is he not in the squad? And yes, if he's ill, you know, I hope he gets better soon, and you know, and that's fine. But if he's not ill and there's another reason for it, well, Ten Hag, you've been honest with us so far. You've told us the truth about everything. Just tell us the truth about him. Just if you think you don't think he's good enough to play in these matches, then just tell us that, because you've told us that about every other player. So don't start playing politics now. It's too late. So just tell us what's happening with this player. And like I said, if he's ill, then you know, I wish him a quick recovery. And you know, Ten Hag, I apologize for my comments. But if he's not ill and there's some other reason behind it, I wish he would just tell us, because he's told us about everyone else.
I think he's not. I think his hands is tied. He's not calling the shots, because it's all we've seen is Ineos is having no money. We don't have money, and they're coming in, still haven't been ratified, but they need to save they want to save about 60 to 90 million, right? So they can go in the transfer market to save their FFP. So I wouldn't be surprised that, you know, some players are not playing because they don't want to get injured, because we're going to loan them out and sell them. I don't know what the hell is going on, right? When I saw Dodgy Dave in the stand looking like, I don't know, Hector Salamanca, you know, from Breaking Bad, and that's a worrying sign. He looks very scary, like, you know, sociopathic, like, you know what I mean. I'm sorry for listening to Dodgy Dave, but I'm sorry. You don't know where I live, do you?
You live in Thailand, mate. that's where everyone goes to hide, in it.
Marginal percent. Guys, I'm just gonna go and grab myself a drink, if you excuse me.
Yeah.
I'm coming there next year. By the way, I'm coming to Thailand next year, Mickey. I'm coming to Thailand.
Why don't you come now?
No, I'm coming. I'm coming in January next year for a wedding, for one of my friends' wedding.
Ooh, where to in Bangkok or?
I have no fucking idea. I don't know. I
have
booked
no
the
idea.
flight. I booked the flight, but I have no idea where it is. I don't
Book
know.
the
I'll
hotel.
check. I'll let you know. I'll text you. I'll text you. I'll let you know. I'll text you.
I'll be there. Book the hotel.
Yeah. It's
Guys, I'll be back in a second. I'm just gonna grab myself a drink. I'm gonna
Yeah,
take
no
it away
problem.
from.
No problem. Yeah, I like what you say, Jimmy, about the kids, and for me, that's the only bright light I see in this team at the moment. I don't feel it when it comes to players like McTominay, even Rashford. You know, we had a decent game today, but I don't like what I see because I think he's too greedy. He's not a team player, and he doesn't give his all for the team. It's all about him. And that's what I don't like, because with him in the team, I don't think I think we will rely only on him. And we did that last season. We played through Rashford, Bruno to Rashford, goal. That's
all the
our
time,
only
yeah.
output. So
Yeah,
so in a way, it's not sustainable, as our good friend Nuruddin always say.
You know what? Someone actually analyzed it the way that you've just analyzed it there, to say that Bruno to Rashford goal that we got so much last season.
Mm-hmm.
All the teams in the Premier League have identified it, but because all the teams in the Premier League have identified how to stop it, all the teams in Europe identified it as well. And then all the teams in all the cup games that we play identified it as well, because it's a very simple move, isn't it? It's a very, very simple move. It's Bruno pretends like he's got his back to goal, spins on the pass that's coming from the midfielder or the defender, and if he can collect that ball, Rashford's clear, because Rashford he runs that same end channel every single time, or it's either that or just the outside of that channel, and he runs that same area every single time. And if he collects it from there, step over or wide, if he steps over, that means he's going to go back to the right and shoot, and he's going to score. If he doesn't step over, he's going to go to the right and go wide, and he's going to score. That's exactly how it went every single time. So they all identified it. Now, once you identify that it takes literally all the goals away from the team. So then, because Ten Hag, I feel like, had got comfortable in that, the success of that move, it's almost as if he's thought, oh shit, we have to actually find a new way of getting goals. And with the players that we've got, none of them are creative enough to give us another way of getting goals.
Yeah.
Because Bruno,
not much output from
because
the rest
if Bruno's going to find a different way of creating goals, he's going to have someone else in the team that is on the same wavelength as him, and there isn't anyone. So Bruno's got that problem. And I'm not praising Bruno here. I'm just saying Bruno is a few levels when it comes to above everyone else when it comes to seeing a creative picture and where it should go. Because if Bruno had another Bruno in the team, Bruno would find that other Bruno every time, and that other Bruno would find Bruno every time, and that would mean that they're creating twice as many chances as we create at the moment as a team, right? So because we haven't had another Bruno since Bruno's been at the club, the other Bruno would have been Pogba, who's not at the club anymore. You know, if you have a Bruno and a Pogba in terms of wavelength of understanding the trajectory of an attack, not many players have got it. Not many players have got it at all. That's why Odegaard at Arsenal, I read an article today to say Odegaard at Arsenal needs players that are at his level, because the other players are just not on his level. With the way he sees the pitch, the way he sees the attack building, because these guys, what they do is, these midfielders they're not attacking midfielders. No. They're just midfielders, right? So what they do is, when your team is defending, they're looking at the defensive picture, of course, but what's running in that through their mind is, once we get this ball, because they can see the potentially areas where you're going to get the balls, so they think, right, if we get it there, how is the attack going to build? So they're not thinking 2 steps ahead, they're thinking 4 or 5, because if you get the ball back, they're thinking, if you've now got 2 Brunos, he's also thinking the same. So now you've got multiple layers of how you can build the attack. And this is how successful teams win matches.
Yeah, you see it especially with Man City. We have Gundogan, Bernardo Silva, Kevin De Bruyne, and all of those players. But do you think this was the plan for Ten Hag when he brought in Mason Mount? have
Yeah, I
one
think so.
other
I think he
output.
wanted. Yeah, 100%. I think he thought Mason Mount would be the second Bruno. I think so.
To expand and give
Yeah,
us more options when it comes to going forward and creating chances, basically, because we don't have
yeah,
any creative
yeah,
midfielders. We had like McTominay and Fred last
yeah.
season, and
100%.
Casemiro, but he's hardly a
Yeah.
creative midfielder. So yeah,
Yeah, he's not. I mean, I agree with this comment, even though I think this person is probably trying to disagree with what I'm saying. Captain Caveman, big up, man, shout out. But I agree with the comment. Bruno has no position of discipline. That's why I think when Mason Mount was coming in, he was coming in to be the position of discipline in the team. So
yeah,
what Ten Hag was hoping for was to have a Bruno who's going to be erratically creative, and then to have Mason Mount who's going to be organized and creative. So you have two dynamics of a midfielder. All the teams that won things were like that. That's how they. That's you, when you have two midfielders who one is allowed to go out and be a little bit mental. If you have Kroos and Modric in your team, Kroos is the control mechanism. Modric is the wild factor. Right, so that's how most successful midfields are. You have one who's so disciplined they won't flinch. You know, whatever happens in the game, they won't be disturbed. They won't get away from their kind of organized positioning. The other one can be organized as well, but they're allowed to go and be a bit more adventurous, right? So you always have a stable midfield. So you will never lose control of the game. Even if you're playing poor, you have some level of control of the game.
But what I think Captain Cayman probably is addressing is, I agree, yeah, that Bruno has no positional discipline, but when it comes to taking up space, you know, being the one who are supposed to create all the time, Bruno takes on too much responsibility and wants to be the center of attention all the time when it comes to doing this role. And I think that's also a problem, because when you see better teams, when you see Manchester City, especially last year, when Kevin De Bruyne wasn't there, Gundogan stepped up and did this job. And sometimes when Gundogan didn't do his job, Bernardo Silva came in and pulled his weight. And that's good, better teams. So that's also Bruno's problem, because there aren't many other players who can do this job. So yeah, I think we be agreeing on this subject. And Nick is back. You are on mute.
Sorry, I just had to pour myself a little bit of drink and call in some people, retweet a little bit. Stu Woolley's on his way in, and you can share the link later on if people want to come in and have a say. You know, it's an after party. And on the other hand, guys, I need to share something beautiful. We rescued a cat the other day, and we saved his life. And, we took him to the vet. He's in the spare bedroom, and now he's coming to life. He's starting to meow, 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 meow. And I was like, whoop, happy. So I had to check.
Mick, we rescued a puppy just over Christmas.
Did you?
Yeah. Rescued a puppy. And when we rescued him, no life in his eyes, and now he's an absolute mentalist now. He's all over the house.
The mentalist.
Oh, he's crazy. He's absolute lunatic. He's crazy. Crazy
big up to you, man.
Crazy
Seriously. We tend to go and every day we go feed the strays, cats, dogs, everything. Nobody will take care of them. Like, people would just pass them on the street. Cute dog, cute cat, but nobody want to give them food. But we always carried a lot of food in our backpack, and just that's the way it is. I just love them.
Yeah, no, we've done this a few times where we rescue one and then we'll look after it for 6 months and then give it away to a good home or whatever. That's generally what I do. It's not. I don't do it for a living. I just do it every now and again because I used to have dogs all the time, but then with work I couldn't really have dogs as much as I did.
But now you're going to keep them?
We might. We don't know. We're not sure yet. We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, Yaleman Min is saying he's looking after his brother's dog. What are you saying here? You're looking after your brother's dog a few days. He's a big dog. He has pushed me into the floor from my bed twice already. Must be a Great Dane. Get out of here. You fat bastard. Get off. That's why you have a super king size bed, my friend.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What did I miss? What did you guys talk about while I was away?
I know we're just talking about the dynamics of what Ten Hag is doing versus what he should be doing, and you know what different people think about it. But I like this comment. This I don't want to lose AWB for Olise. I agree with that. I've seen a lot of people saying, "Oh no, you know, let AWB go." Like, you know, your team has to have defenders. People just think about attackers in it. Like you you need to have defensive players at the club. You can't just keep. You know, I think everyone's obsessed with the Trent wave at the moment. I know Trent's doing his bits, you know, from an attacking perspective. Everyone's raving on about him, and I like him. I think he's an amazing player. But AWB brings an element of respect from the attackers when we play teams, and he's playing on that right hand side. It's always, you know, there's always a little bit of respect there, you know. So I don't know. I don't want to lose him for Elisa, to be honest. You know, I think I've seen I was seeing stats on his hamstring injury. He's had half a year off with his hamstring injury before, so hamstring injuries can be brutal, and he scores quite badly on hamstring injury, actually, on the market value. He scores really badly on that. So, you know, for me to let go of a fit defensive player that you need, we haven't got many defensive players at the club at all, if you think about it. I mean, who's defensive really? Martinez. Maybe Malacia.
Yeah.
Malacia, I think Malacia is quite defensive. Who
Kwambala.
else? Who?
Willie Kwambala, the young fellow.
Oh, Kwambala is he's quite defensive. Yeah, he's Hannibal. You could
right.
Hannibal. Yeah, Hannibal. You could say he's quite a defensive player, but you know we haven't got many. Dango is quite defensive. Yeah, very defensive.
Yeah.
But it's that you need to have these players that can defend, so that if you are playing against a team where your defense is going to have to play a certain way, and you need certain types of defensive players, but you need 4 of them, you should be able to put out 4 of them, because that's what tells you you've got a good squad. And you start selling your AWBs for what? For who? Who's staying? It's going to be Dallo on his own. Dallo with no competition.
I mean, if you look at it, he's the only one that cuts, you know, does the cutback passes from the byline. I can
only one.
So,
but I just want to say, I mentioned Jimmy. I mentioned earlier about the style of play and compared to patterns of play. Because we have a lot of patterns of play, but it depends on the individual. But we don't have a set style when it comes to the whole team, and that's one of the problems with Wan-Bissaka and Dalot on the right back, because they are very different players. So if you play Wan-Bissaka, we play one way, and if you play Dalot, we play one way. So for me, I would rather us have 2 similar right backs. You actually see it with Liverpool. They have when Robertson play, and when he's injured, they put in Tsimikas, and both of them they are similar players. So Liverpool still have their system intact when they have 100%. Those 2 players on the field, but we have to change it up. So in a way, I would like for us, from a tactical point of view, to sell either Dalot or Wan-Bissaka and get 2 similar 100%, players.
I agree with that. Guys, did you all notice Anthony is unavailable tonight? He's injured, right? You know, he pulled his hamstring, so he's out for the next 2 to 3 weeks. Yeah, it happened in the game against Notts Forest.
No, I didn't notice that.
Yeah,
wow.
He picked up a muscle strain in the first half, and he couldn't come off immediately because Ahmad needed time to warm up and stuff like that. So, but also one of the protocols is that they would try to play it off for 15 minutes to see if it would run off, and it didn't happen. So he's out with injury right now. So
cool.
Wow.
Anthony. But what about
Ahmad?
Ahmad was ill. He have the flu like Christian Eriksen. This flu going around in this club right now. I think all of them eat the chicken.
They with the hygiene, you know, we had the hygiene rating that was very poor. That's probably why, innit? That's his man getting
one of those things. It's one of those things. But you know,
anyway, I remember Saka, like, you know, he's on 90K a week. There's nothing, right? If you look at it. So what are you gaining if you're swapping that, to be honest. And what was this link today? It was some crazy news. This fullback from Everton, 100 million. I can't remember what was his name, but
it's not Braithwaite, you know. It's actually the link was Everton is weighing up a deal to make a trade for Scott McTominay, with using their Amadou Onana to trade for Scott McTominay, and that would also facilitate the loan of Hannibal as well. So basically, they want Scott McTominay, they will give us Amadou Onana, but they also want to get Hannibal full on loan for like I think it's for a full season.
That's a
the end
steal.
of the season and the first 6 months.
Yeah, that's yeah.
I take Onana. You don't take. I personally drive Scott McTominay to Everton myself. Come on, get out of here.
I would as well. I'm pretty sure, you know, Uncle Jimmy would do the same thing, and Jarvis as well.
I'll do the same. I'll do the same thing.
Just snatch their hand off right now. But yeah, that's
but what you guys think about the fact that there's not going to be any business in January?
Shambles. I've said
shambles.
We did a stream this morning. We had a good stream this morning, me and Mark, about it, and just basically, it is a absolutely abomination failure of the club. You know, those finances are finally catching up to the Glazers. You know, they milked it to the max, and it comes to the point that you have a manager that's not getting anything right. Work with what you got, pretty much. You have to sell off. You've been told. I mean, it's not the manager's choice to sell certain players. He's been told. It is the inept Murto, and then it's still Joel Glazer sitting there at the moment, right? And everything has to be ratified. And then of course, they have a prenup agreement that, you know, Ineos is still kind of in control until they get approved. So of course, their job is to save 60 to 90 million, according to my research. So everything is about out. So basically, I would say that, barring that we have all these injuries, we're not getting any stronger. We're actually getting weaker. So, and then they're expecting Ten Hag to finish in top 4 to make Champions League. So it's just a recipe for sacking. It's a recipe for failure. Close the shop, you know, right off the season already. I mean, that's the way I see it. What do you reckon, Jimmy?
No, I agree. I think because it's quite strange, isn't it, when you look at the way that and I know that the deal's not complete yet because there's all these sign-offs that need to happen by the football authorities or whatever the case might be. But for me, it's strange how, I mean, Ineos is a big organization, and for me, the lack of kind of sneaking out little PR, you know, nuggets for the fans, to get the fans excited a little bit about something, you know, just I think they're missing a trick, because I think they should have been throwing little nuggets about their little plans to the fans, you know, leak some little nuggets of information so the fans can get a little bit excited, but it's just quiet. It's just quiet. So I'm hoping it's quiet because they're gonna, you know, everything's gonna get signed off, and then we're just gonna be like, whoa, we didn't expect everything to change overnight this much, you know, or, you know, because if it's not that, then it means it's quiet because actually these guys are coming in and really there isn't much of a plan yet. You know, they're going to figure it out as they go along. And I'm hoping it's not. They'll figure it out as they go along. So I was hoping they're going to come in, gang-ho, show the fans everything's changed. Overnight, boom, we wake up the next day, that person's gone, that person's gone, that person's gone. There's tractors right now at Old Trafford. They're starting renovations on the East Stand, and I was, you know what I mean, I was hoping it was just going to be like a atomic bomb just going off, and we're going to wake up to these amazing news.
But
it's
didn't
not
Jim
be
say that he needed a 6 months assessment period?
Yeah, I think that's the thing for me. So
I think
that's what bothers me with this whole thing, Jarvis. That's 6 months. That's 6 months assessment period, because he claims to be a United fan, and if he's a religious United fan, of course he should already know the problems that we're facing right now. So it's one of those things for me where I'm kind of still skeptical about the 25%. I prefer the full sale. Keeping the Glazers here is still a big issue for me, because you always know that they're gonna do something booky and something weird. You know what I mean? And I just feel like this situation is a giant IOU. Like they couldn't get any loans from the banks and they just wanted money. And the only person who was willing to lend them money at a fair rate of interest was Sir Jim Ratcliffe. So he's here. Let's deal with it. Let's see what he does. I'm not expecting anything much. I would hope that at least we get some kind of structure in the background. Not purchasing anything in January is bad, but at the same time, maybe it might give some of the youth coming through a chance to get some game time and show their stuff.
Are we to read anything into these pictures that we're seeing of Sir Brailsford shaking hands with Hoyland and all this stuff? Hey, Stu, Wagwan, man, you're right, bro.
Gents, how are we?
Yeah, good, man. Good.
Big up.
Big man is arrived.
Are we to read anything into these pictures of Brailsford shaking hands with the players and going to see shaking hands with members of staff at the stage at the club?
You know what he's doing?
I know, but I'm saying, should we read anything into it? Is it important? Is it not important?
It's typical when if you work when you have a takeover, right? You always have this external consultant that fires people. And he's that firing person, right? He goes and shakes around, smiles, and your job is safe. And then next thing you know, like you're out of the door, right? So when the camera zoomed in today, and he was sitting like like this, like a Hector Salamanca. Yeah. Hey, Vicky, how you doing? I'm just thinking this is dodgy, it's very dodgy. And as I reiterate what Mark was saying, that if you're a long-time Manchester United fan, you should, if you're watching Manchester United, you don't need to do a 6 months review. You should know what is the problem, and who to get rid of, right? Instead of that, you're looking to how much money can I save? And then you look at the top of the wage bill, Casemiro, Varane, Rashford, Martial. And then if you're going to recruit in, what's his name, Ashford, you're gonna get British talent, right?
Mick, well, you know what? Let me. I'm sorry to stop you. I don't understand why you get these Man City. I'm sorry if this person is someone you know, or maybe they're just a troll that comes on the show. Like, why are you coming on a Manchester United podcast to watch and you're arguing with Manchester United fans about nonsense? Like, what? Just go away, innit? Like, get a life, go and do something else with your life, man. Like, it's just stupid. Like, it's absolutely ridiculous, man. Go away.
No.
Have you ever watched the Manchester City? Have you ever watched the Man City podcast? I've never watched one in my life. I promise. No, I'm not even no cap. Never watched the Manchester City podcast in my life ever. Not one. Not a single one.
I find
it's
it quite
ridiculous,
funny
man.
that City would have been playing Huddersfield back in the old Division 3 many years ago.
Yeah.
I think
Anyway,
sorry, carry on, bro.
City fan for life. He's been coming here a few times, so he's always welcome. It's okay. You have a little bit of banter, have a little fun. I know we're not playing good football at the moment, guys. We are not 100%. We are not. Like, we're far off. Stewie, talk to us. How do you feel today? Are you feeling like or?
No, I thought we were woeful at best. And I know people will look at that and think, oh, very, very strange. But you've got to bear in mind that when you're playing a team like Wigan, you're going to come up against a team that really want to compete. They use the ball quite well in occasions. They use their space quite well in occasions. But I just felt that we weren't, and this is going to sound very, very strange, we weren't overawed by it, but we weren't prepared mentally for the physicality that Wigan were going to be honest. And, for us, it's all right thinking you're a Premier League football, you play for Manchester United, it's this, that, and the other. You've got to use the ball better. We didn't use the ball better. Every time Rashford collected the ball, instead of taking it and moving in one fell swoop, because the defender was giving him 10 to 15 yards all the time, he could pick and choose which way he wanted to go around him. He got hold of it and then started dilly-dallying around it, and then there's a chance, gave the defender a chance to come to him, which he did. Just a little bit miffed about the way that we didn't utilise the ball better. I'm miffed that we missed those chances. I mean, I'm a Hoyland fan, as you all know, guys. You all know I'm a Hoyland fan. Inexcusable not to come away.
Leave my boy alone. Leave me alone. Leave my.
You know
boy
what?
alone.
It was just one of those days. Like
I think it was
like the header, bro. The header hit the post.
That, you know what I mean?
That for me, bro, spell it up for me. When that hit the post, I was like,
yeah.
There's
He
nothing
was
wrong.
unlucky. He was
He's gonna be
unlucky. He was
unlucky
unlucky.
today.
He was
It
unlucky.
wasn't
He
close.
was
I was
unlucky.
thinking about, chaps. It's the header. I mean, he caught it on the top of his head. You know,
No, but defender is challenging him, so he's not on his own. He hasn't got a clear header. You know.
No, but what he's got to do, he's got to get hold of his shirt. Bang, you're in. You've got to give yourself that yard. And look, it'll come to him. It will.
It'll come to him. He'll get there.
The one where it came when it went right at the post, his body position was wrong. He was aiming towards.
It was, yeah. I agree with that.
To the left, it would have gone in. It's little things like that, and I'm picking it up and I'm talking about it. I'm thinking, oh my God, you're being harsh. You know, it's easy for me to say, isn't it, when you're watching on television, you know, when you're out there, you know, in front of 40,000 people, it's a different thing. I know it is. The pitch was bobbly. I know it was. I just felt that if we'd been a bit more ruthless in our overall play, I'm not just talking about the final third, I'm talking about our overall play, really. I thought our fullbacks weren't great. They were out of position. Wan-Bissaka, I thought, was erratic at best. Today, I wasn't impressed with McTominay. I thought he left Maino exposed. I'm sure you guys have spoken about all of this anyway.
Yeah,
I definitely thought he left Maino exposed. But let me talk to you about Højlund, by the way. I thought his overall game outside the box was really good today. His strength was good. His running ability was good.
100%.
The way he held off the ball, I think, was good. And I know I'm being overcritical. I know I am. But I can see a player in there. I can see a real clinical striker. And he just needs somebody to help him. And look, and this is where I do think, lads, if he got a brace today, he would have walked off with a match ball, I promise you. If he popped one or two of those in the first half, Jimmy, he'd have been taking the match ball off with him. I guarantee.
No, I agree. I agree with that.
And that's just me being a bit overcritical. But you know me, guys. Now I'm like you guys. I've got these standards up here when it comes to football, and I just knew that Wigan would come out and they'd start getting the machetes out and start trying to disrupt us, and they did. And you know, there were parts with Wigan where they looked quite a slick outfit. I thought that Asgard fella, I thought he had a really good solid game. I thought the lad on the left, is it Goddie? Goody,
yeah, he's a United fan apparently.
I thought he was excellent. And correct me if I'm wrong, lads. They've got a real keeper on their hands as well. I thought.
Oh yeah, he's a good keeper. I said that. I said he's a good keeper.
He was very good on his sticks.
Yeah.
Listen,
guys. Sorry, Jarvis. I have to apologize. He had to go. So.
And me as well. I have to apologize to go as well because
sorry, I'm a bit late tonight. But that was my fault.
No, it's fine, man. It's fine. But no, I have to go as well, guys. So now, bless. I appreciate you guys, man.
Have a good night, bro.
Does anyone wants to replace? Like, I will paste the link here as well. Anyone wants to come in and have a chat? I see. Boom. Before we close the shop, so I know we're losing out some people. But
I didn't realize I'm that easily replaceable. But you know, my heart's broken. I thought I was irreplaceable, but you know, there you go. But now, good night, guys. Nice to talk to you guys, man. Bless, man. Bless. Good night.
Cheers. Cheers. All right, Stu. Like, just I posted a poll basically for voting for the man of the match, and you know, I just wanted to let you know, like, you know, I have Dalot, Kobbie, Maino, and Garnacho, and so far, Kobbie Maino is on 81%.
Oh, 100%.
Bruno.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. Garnacho, I was on a Devil's Advocate, and I described him. Again, I'm going to get pelters for this at the VAR room as well. I thought it was a mixture of a mature and immature performance again. I thought he showed a lot of maturity, but a lot of immaturity today in his overall play. But Bruno, what a conundrum he was tonight. Again, there were parts where you're thinking, just could you play like that for 80 minutes, please? Just please do that for us. And you can see something. Dalot, I must be blind because I didn't see it with Dalot, unless I've got an agenda and I don't know it. So, but for me, Kobbie Maino all day long. That kid, that player, he got hooked. Mark, last time we were on the show together, he got hooked, didn't he, at Nottingham? And me and you were talking about it, and Mark said, if I remember, correct me if I'm wrong here, but Mark said, I hope by making him a scapegoat for that defeat, it doesn't halt his mental performance, and it didn't. I thought today he brushed himself down, whatever. I thought he was outstanding today, and he got completely exposed by McTominay, didn't he? The way that he takes the ball and uses the ball, and it's just effortless, isn't it? Completely effortless in everything that he does. And the difference between him and Garnacho is amazing, because Maino is pure maturity on a football pitch. I'd love Garnacho to get to that stage, and that's what I thought. So,
I said about Maino before he started playing games this season. I remember saying that the way he plays so mature that I was saying to myself, this guy is one of those young men you could let them learn on the job, learn in games. And the better players you play next to those guys is the better that they will perform. And yeah, I did say that about him with the last game when he got hooked, because I was disappointed he got hooked, because he plays so well. But you know what? For me, when I look at this game today, some of the little mistakes that he was making in other games before, like he would get sucked into some little plays and stuff and end up ahead of the play when he should be a little bit few steps back. He wasn't getting sucked in at all today. You know what I mean? He was playing really well today, and it's just like he went to another level today. Like he was at a threshold the last few games, and then he just break that threshold today. So now he just displaying a better performance, and I just want to see him play more games going forward. I would like to see Dan Gore get a few minutes next to him, because
Dan Gore,
Dan Gore Jr. is a revelation when you see him play next to Kobbie.
I'm looking forward to Tottenham Sunday, because I think, Vic, if you want to come on, Chuck, there's a link in the description, I think.
Yeah, it's just like you said everything. You stole everything. Vic, come in and have it.
You come on and put me right, sweet. Come on and put me right. I'm looking forward to watching Maino play against Tottenham. I really am. I think that's going to be. Here she is. I think that's going to be something to. Here she is.
Good evening. How are you, Vicky?
She gave me a rollicking on the devil's advocate. Didn't you, Chuck? We almost had a divorce, didn't we? We're going to get a marriage counselor this week.
How you doing?
I'm good.
Oh. We've got a
we got actually
frame. Oh, wait a minute. I got to do. I forgot. I got to go turn off the YouTube on this. There we go. Sorry.
There you go. Before you go, we have a super chat from Manchester City for Fan for Life. Thank you for donating. We always appreciate it. Garnacho would not get in City starting 11. Why wouldn't he? Please explain yourself. Would he? Would he not?
No, I don't think he would. I think he's right there.
He don't. Perhaps he's not that type of player.
Not even the proper starting 11 can get into City's starting 11. So
yeah, that's true.
And they keep they're all getting injured. So
So what's your general feeling after today? Like, do you feel any excitement, or did you feel like we just got to cruise through? Or for me, I just okay, we scored 1-2. I wasn't even nervous. I knew we were going to win this game, but somebody said 4-0 to me the other day on my pre-stream, and I was like, nah, you're getting too giddy, right? Because we had 33 chances, Vicky, and we converted 2.
I know, and one of them was a penalty, so that doesn't even help things, does it?
Was that even a pen, Vic?
No, it wasn't really, but
it was a soft one.
Do you know what? Do you know how many penalty decisions that Man United don't get? I'll just take it, 100%. I'm sick of
dividends on that one. Yeah.
If you really want to just listen to Klopp and Arteta and scare VAR, and Man United just keep their mouth shut and don't object to anything, so we don't get anything. So I'm just fine with keeping it the way it's like it is, like that. But I'll just let that happen. It gives Wigan the out, doesn't it? Oh, but they shouldn't have had a penalty, so they feel like winners. We actually won. There we go. Everybody's fine.
Yeah, I think get some positive responses here. Big up Wiederberg. Vicky's a 10. Hi, Vicky. People saying, good to see you. Debutante coming in here. Looking forward.
I'm a bit of an old bird,
Nobody's put me down as a 10. Jesus, bloody hell. What's going on?
Guys, put a voting poll.
I put you down as a 10, but
I know you do, sweetheart. Thank you for that.
Okay, should we do a poll on that one?
No, don't.
No, we should not. Absolutely not.
Yeah, I would.
But I tell you what, it's what I think is quite annoying is McTominay. It's just he's always at the front line. I always find Delo's always at the front line, where they shouldn't be. They should be doing what they're meant to be doing, and that's being in the back four. Delow should be in the back four, passing balls forwards to forwards,
Yeah,
and
100%.
McTominay should be actually defending for a change. You know, that's what his job is. I mean, I did have a bit of a gripe of why I would rather have kept Fred than McTominay, but I know why we sold Fred, because he wasn't a lot of money, and we did just want to get rid of at least some midfielders. And McTominay was money, but the whole West Ham was just a pain in the backside. So
I agree with you.
No, I think it's come up a lot, actually. We spoke about it last week. Somebody mentioned it, didn't they? I think, Mark, you were on when somebody mentioned about Fred. Was it you that mentioned it, actually, Mark?
Yeah, I was one that mentioned Fred also wanted to leave.
Yeah.
You know, and he was the one that actually the team was willing to play, and he was willing to go for less money. It was one of those things. I didn't like that, actually. I think McTominay should have been out of here, just like Marcus Rashford should have been out of here since 21-22 season.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, like, let's be honest. Like, if you look at this, he's the most senior attacker at the squad right now, being at in the team 9 years right now, right? So our young attackers, they don't have anyone they could look up to, and they certainly can't look up to Marcus Rashford because he's basically the epitome of inconsistency. One season he ever scored more than 20 Premier League goals, and we're like, oh, let's give him a big contract. I think that was the worst thing we could ever do, because to me, the only time he ever plays well is when he has to sign his contract. It happened 4 seasons before.
I don't know if it is just like Rashford is more of a confidence player that you just don't see. The fact that he is a bit like Son and stuff like that, that he needs confidence. Like he needs goals to make goals, to score goals, right? I don't know if that might be the case. I think, you know, he does all the extra pre-seasons and things. I think I mean, fair dues, there's been a bit going on with his personal life, but this is similar sort of season than 21-22, where he had so much going on in the background.
True.
Then he has this season. I think obviously, what was it? His cousin died. He broke up with his girlfriend and things like that. You don't know how much this is affecting him backstage in life. Erik ten Hag certainly hasn't got like he's dropped his confidence in him, but he has admitted that he's lost confidence. Bruno obviously when he gave him the penalty, has admitted that he's lost confidence. There must be something slightly to do with that. I don't think it's a big contract thing.
Yeah, but there is a player. I agree with you. And just coming back to what you said earlier, like I 100% agree with you. I'd rather kept Fred and shipped off Scott McTominay. At least Fred is like that Forrest Gump, life of box of chocolate. You never know what you're going to get, but at least you get that grit, that dog on the bone, like, you know, that will always chase and hunt. And that's what we're missing in that midfield. Like, you know, whenever you have Scott McTominay on, we're lacking absolutely no creativity. Like, I mean, if you're going to play with a single CDM and then 2 number 8s, then you might as well just, you're playing with one midfielder, because Bruno is Bruno. Bruno is just a free roaming, creating. That's what he does, like, you know, open spaces, find some good passes. But McTominay doesn't provide anything. What McTominay is like a Lipizan horse that will just, you know, you find McTominay's feet and he will go and try to slot it in. Like, that's why I call him a spot player. But yet again, like, you know, I'm just surprised that why he's still in the squad. Yeah, he's a Mancunian. Yes, he understands the DNA. Yes, he came from the academy. Yes, but is that the reason to keep him in the squad? No, it's not. Right?
You definitely want him there for talking about the badge.
True.
A bit like Delow. Yeah, Delow and McTominay, great badge speakers. To be fair, I do both think they want to be really good players, even though they're not polished at all. But he's just too chaotic. You cannot. If you have to pair up with him as a midfielder, you do not know what you're going to be able to handle and deal with. Saying what he's going to do and actually doing what he's going to do is 2 different stories. So.
It's interesting you mentioned that they're badge players, though. They talk about the badge. When you listen to Dallow's interview a few days ago. He was talking about his greatest achievement was making the first team at Manchester United. I'll be like, Jesus, really? That's not good enough for me. That's, as a player, that is not good enough for me. Forget making the first team. I want to see your trophy cabinet, because that's what that's what it's all about. It's winning.
Oh, he's just tired. He's just tired. They just had a baby. He's just tired. He's not thinking.
Is that what he was it? He certainly wasn't thinking properly there, because for me, that's not what you want to hear, is it? Not as a fan, not as a player. As a player, you want to hear, right, I'm going to rip somebody's head off to get over that line and win that trophy. That's what you that's how I like it. And I think you're right, Vic. That's what I was getting at. You're 100% right about them being badge players, but not what we would class as a badge player, And
what the other thing you're not actually trying to take on, they've all got something going on right now, all dipping in confidence, dipping in, not realising the start of play, injuries, everything. It's not like half of them have just gone through a series, a lot of managers. As much as they are professionals and they do get paid a lot of money and they're there to do this, they're also just trying to cope with as many things that are going on in the background as well as in forwards. And I know their job is just to get out there and play, but there's just too much. I mean, you can't elaborate? You can't. It feels like a form of EastEnders. So you can't all run your businesses if you've got so much dum-dums going on.
True.
Sorry for the people that don't know what EastEnders are.
But on the other hand, I can reiterate
not play games, because at the same time, I understand that they might have things going on in their life, and like, I'm not going to criticize them for that. But if you know you're not 100%, you shouldn't be there, because then you're taking the chance away from someone else, and then you're taking away the chance for Manchester United fans to win games, and it's more important than them.
Yeah.
It's the team.
I understand that, and they are going through inconsistent amount of plays, and you're 100% right. But the one thing is, players today weren't players like yesterday. I think they're really not. They're just not, and they are dealing. Oh my God, I don't like that.
The interesting thing about that is, and you're right, that we've got injuries, but I'll tell you something, guys. If I'm a bench player at Manchester United and I get in, I'm staying in. I'm doing everything.
Staying in the game.
That fucking starting 11. I'm doing everything. I'm going to put some ridiculous tackles in. I'm going to wind up the crowd. I'm going to wind up the opposition crowd. I'm going to run for 90 minutes, 95 minutes. I'm going to tackle hard. I'm going to pass accurately. I'm going to run with speed. I'm going to do everything I can so that when I walk off that pitch, I'm looking at the gaffer and I'm winking at him, because I know I'm playing on Wednesday night. That's what you've got to do. You have to do that.
But this team now isn't going to be the team next season, because it's not. Because it's all changing now, and it literally is changing.
Yeah. But in a way, I can go back to when we started this stream to say that you can moan and bitch about that they are trying to manscape the squad, to shave the squad, but isn't that something that we've been crying out for? But all I want to do is to get rid of the right players that needs to go, right? And definitely recruiting people with mentality, ballers with mentality. Now, when it comes down to, yes, when you work in a toxic environment in an organization, when everything is rotten from it comes down from the leadership. Trust me, it goes down all the way to the mailroom and the receptionist as well. There is no cohesion, there's no togetherness, there's no feel-good factor, right, in an organization. And you can also say that Rashford, I don't know, I don't really care. If you have something going on in the person, you are actually employed to play football, to perform. You're wearing the badge, you're representative of Manchester United. There's certain standards you should carry. Yet, because you were best mates with Jadon Sancho and you don't like the manager treating him that way, so you're going to down tool. It looks like, I don't really respect what the manager did to my best friend, kind of thing, right? It's the player power. But I'm just concerned that we are actually looking to get rid of the wrong players instead of getting rid of the ones that don't really belong here. In all glory, I like Rashford. Wait
a minute.
Don't have anything.
Sorry. So, when you say that, do you mean like you don't want to get rid of Casemiro, but you know that they want to get rid of Casemiro because of his wages.
He's got two years left on his contract. I
Yeah,
mean,
he
what
does,
I'm
yeah.
saying, that I like
Plus
Casemiro,
the
and I
year's
would love.
extension.
Yeah, the reason why I like to keep Casemiro is because of the development of Kobbie Maino. That's what I'm saying.
That's it.
Right?
And Dangle.
He's the perfect.
100%.
Dangle.
Yeah, and Dangle.
Yeah.
So he's the perfect role model for young Kobbie Maino to, because he won a lot of things. He won shit. You know what I mean? He's the only one that's won things in the entire squad together with Varane, right? If you really look at it, if you analyze it. But I just don't want the club to get rid of the players that could be there, like in the transition while we're bleeding in the young kids. But what is Rashford going to offer you? Like, nothing. What is Scott McTominay going to offer, like, as a role model? Yes, maybe, as what you said, they're good ambassadors. They're speaking the language of the club, but it's all about performance on the pitch, which is not good enough for me, right? True, we have an aging squad. True, we have to trim that bush or whatever to make the yard look bigger, or you know what I mean, the Manscaped slogan. But I'm just a little bit. It's unprecedented times for me, so is what you say, the squad that we're seeing today, Vic, we don't even know what the squad is going to look like in the summer or next year. And that is a little bit exciting, though.
It's exciting, but curious at the same time, because there are certain players in there that really should be absolutely chomping at the bit to want to stay a Manchester United player. And I know I'm old school. I know I'm, a 70s guy. I know I grew up in the rough and tumble 80s and 90s where football was a men's game, so to speak. And it has changed completely. Even Wigan didn't really put it on us tonight, did they? There was no rough and tumble play against us. They tried to stand up to us physically, and they could have out-muscled us on more than one occasion. But they did try and play football. I just feel that there will be a squad change. Next season there will be certain players, but you've got to keep the likes of Casemiro, because Kobbie Maino should be in awe of him. Dangle, I agree with Mark, by the way. Dangle's a very, very special talent, talent. It's a great player, and we've got the makings of a really strong, solid midfield for the next 8 to 10 years, depending on what we do with these guys and what you do. And when you bring your next midfielder in, you have to bring them in so they're spirited together nicely with Maino and Gore. That's your key element of recruitment now. This is why, I spoke about the need for Dave Brailsford first and foremost, and not the need for Ashworth just at the minute. And Mitchell. Yes, we need people like Ashworth and Mitchell, but you need somebody who's got that vision to be able to bring in the right bodies. Football is about, and me and Mark have spoken about this a lot, football is about not how good you are on the pitch, it's how good you are up here as well.
Up here mentally.
And where you fit in, and the recruitment now, those two in particular are going to need to have the right body around them of experience, and just to be able to guide them for the next 2 to 3 years. And then before we know it, they'll be guiding somebody else. They'll be guiding younger players, and it's massively important, and it gets forgotten about. It really does.
You mentioned something, you touched something that I'm a big advocate of, and that is all about mentality. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you look around outside football, what Vicky was saying, footballers are not the same ilk as what it used to be. Like, they don't, if you take the likes of, Ronaldo, Messi, so I think we've seen the last of that era, because football is just paying for the paycheck at the moment.
I don't know.
They don't really...
I got a funny feeling Garnacho is going to take a leaf out their book.
Yeah, I think so. Viva Garnacho. But what I'm trying to say,
I would speak about a player that I think would do that, but
yeah.
What I'm trying to say is,
yeah, but what I'm trying to say is the money has unfortunately destroyed the people's. Once you get paid the big wages, you don't really care, because in a way, how you perform, you sign that contract 3-4 years, and you're gonna pay 300K a week anyway. You just have to rock up the training, do a little bit of flicks and tricks, and if you do bad, you still get picked, or not picked, but you're still getting paid, right? Because the football career is very short, right? So money has changed the mentality of players, and that's why I believe that you should actually lower down the wage bill, put a cap on 200 max, and put a retainer, or kind of like a bonus. Okay, if you do X, Y, Z, say similar like as if you're in a work environment and you you're a salesperson, you get like 60-40, like you get a 60% in base salary and 40% of achievable sales targets. And that is the way I see it. If you look around in the rival clubs, hey, Liverpool don't pay that good, Arsenal don't pay that good either.
No, well, Liverpool are very good at their transactions, but I blame 2005 Chelsea and Mansur from Man City with his 115 charges. Them two are just like made things completely impossible to own wage caps.
Yeah, you're right. Actually, Chelsea have changed the landscape of football twice, haven't they? A, when Abramovich bought them, and B, when they were sold for $2.5 billion. And City have changed the landscape for 115 reasons, which we know about. But the interesting thing that you talk about mentality, and you look at around, the players, and you look at, I look at a lot of these players, and I think to myself, if I'm in the trenches and we're really up against it, FA Cup final, it's 0-0, 85 minutes to go. I'm got a Cantona who's going to take one chance and stick it away. There's no Van Nistelrooy I can cross the ball to, and he's going to pop it in, and we're going to win it. There's no Norman Whiteside back in the day. There's no Steve Bruce to keep it out at our end. There's no Schmeichel to keep the ball out. There's no Gary Neville to put a crunching tackle in with, at 90 minutes. None of that is happening in our team today. And as much as we despise Liverpool, you got Van Dijk who'll put it about, you've got Robertson who'll put it about, you've got Jota who'll put it about. City, you've got, bloody Foden, that little crowd. I hate Foden.
Oh, God, I don't like Foden. I hate him.
No, Silva puts it about. Rodri puts it about. Tottenham, they got Højbjerg that'll stick it in. There are players in Richarlison, he'll dive and he'll do the dark arts. There are players in each team, apart from ours, that have got the ability and the wherewithal and the mental capacity to win games of football. Yeah. And this is where we need to be careful.
What's most irritate me, when I watch our rivals play, when I watched the Arsenal game versus Liverpool, we used to be like attack, like Arsenal were going at it from minute one, but they couldn't finish. And then Liverpool is the kind of the old of Sir Alex Ferguson, you hang in there, never say die, and always finish strong at the end of the game. You always know that there is, even if we're not playing well, we're going to win the game, right? That is the kind of feeling that I miss with Manchester United at the moment, right? Currently today, the way I was seeing, we were just passing the ball, knocking it around, but no attacking threat. There's no intricacy of play to actually attack. It's like we don't have the ability, or we're afraid to lose the ball and concede, right?
Yeah. So there is a little bit of is that just because of the injury crisis and the inconsistent back four, the lack of midfield? Is that what's going on, or do you actually think that that's an actual big issue that's going to continue for the rest of the season?
I think you're talking about a collective insecurity, because it's kind of a little bit of a virus that spreads in a work environment. When you work in a team in a job, and all it takes is some bad elements that affects the whole team, right? And that's the thing, right? So that's why I'm always talking about.
My question is when Casemiro comes back, when Martinez comes back, even when Maguire comes back, is this going to be something that you're going to find
inspiring?
Still an issue? Do you still think it's going to still be an issue?
I don't think so, because according to my opinion, these are the backbones that we are missing, like Licha and Casemiro. If you look at last season, that was the spine, that was the Bermuda Triangle. We were building around Licha, Varane, and Casemiro, and that was the triangle in the build-up play. We haven't had that, right? Yeah. So, and then we had a lot of injuries. We know the story, but still, you as a manager, you got to play with what you got, and win games. But the only thing that I'm criticizing is one single player, Maxas, and why is he playing, right? He's there basically. We wanted to sell him in the summer. We wanted to sell Maguire in the summer. They got lucky because of all this injuries, so therefore they're getting game time. But I don't believe they will still be here next summer.
I think Maguire goes in the summer. I think Maguire goes in the summer, but I think, in all fairness to Harry M, he's done really, really well this season. You know, he's had a bad couple of seasons, he has, but he's pulled his finger out and he's done really, really well. I think, in answer to your question, Vic, I think having Casemiro and having Leach back will add a tiny bit of steel, but you're only adding a tiny bit of steel. You're adding maybe 25-30% worth of steel.
But that steel ended up getting Rashford goals.
Yeah,
even just having Shaw back. If you had Shaw back, that would be great as well. I personally feel if you had those 3 players back, then it'd be Rashford is scoring goals. Højlund then feels like Rashford's going to pass to Højlund again. It's just going to be like that, rather than have a mannequin as someone that you're going to try and have in there.
There is going to be a tipping point for sure. There is.
I just want to pose a question on what you said about Rashford needing Shaw, and this is the thing that's kind of weird for me, right? Rashford needs someone else to make him play better, right? We never used to say that for Cristiano Ronaldo, or maybe even a guy like, let's say, like a Paul Scholes, or even
Cristiano Ronaldo needed Rooney. But
yeah, but
Cristiano Ronaldo
in a way,
needed Rooney.
but at the same time, it's like, look how bad he is. Even if Rooney didn't play, Ronaldo would still have a good game, right?
So are we talking about the second time
from Rashford all season?
Well, are we talking first time or second time with Ronaldo?
It don't matter which turn, because in my honest opinion, I think is like, you're still talking chalk and cheese.
Cristiano Ronaldo needed Rooney.
If I give Ronaldo all these opportunities Rashford get this season, I think he scores them, whether it's old Ronaldo or young Ronaldo. I think you know, in terms of my opinion,
is that do need someone to link up with play, though.
True.
If I'm not wrong.
But I mean, like, there's other players on the team.
Yeah,
in my opinion, Shaw might not be staying at the club much longer. I mean, he's been a good player. He's been a stalwart at the club, but you know, with his latest injury,
you have to fill a different
the reports are that he has this muscle atrophy thing that's at stage 3. So, you know, it's not like if he's probably going to be here another season. It's to
do with his broken leg. It's muscle issues with it around.
But there's two different things that we're talking about here. There's one that we were talking about Cristiano Ronaldo being the striker and everybody was just leading the ball to him, like we did with Robin van Persie and also with Ruud. This is a different format of play now, and it is pressing and regarding on other sides of both forwards. So I don't see why the comparison needs to be made in this situation, because it's all about the pressing and getting the hookups from the back and from midfield being creative. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I'm fine with being wrong, but it's a different style of play these days, isn't it?
Yeah, I can see. But I mean, we're more selfish, aren't we, Mark, with the wingers than what we were when Rooney was playing Ronaldo and Ruud. And Tevez, you know, and actually what we don't do and what we should do, and I talk about this a lot, is we don't interchange at all. You know, Garnacho sticks out on the right tonight, Rashford sticks out on the left, and Højlund sticks in the middle. What's wrong with, you know, Højlund popping out to the left for 10 minutes in a game? And, you know, well, what's wrong with changing? And we, you know, when you've got Ruud, when you've got Ronaldo, Rooney, you can change. You could have that formidable front three that changed all the time. And that's why we were so good up front at that particular time, and I'd just like to see a bit more fluidity.
That comes back to, you know, Vicky has a point. The football has changed. It's more about pressing. It's more about, you know, defending as 11, attack as 11, play as a team. We don't do that, you know. We don't press enough anymore. I haven't seen us press for a while. We don't even, for the past 6 years, we've been crying out to have the prolific number 9, but we don't feed the number 9 with chances. So it's always been a graveyard shift. The other day when I was watching Arsenal, excuse me for mentioning, but they were playing like, you know, beautiful football, like one-touch passes. There was tempo, there was movement. We don't move. We're like mannequins, right? So in today's game, I was watching it. In today's game, I was watching it, and I was watching for movement, and there was no movement whatsoever. Like, first, I was frustrating. Like, you know, come on, movement, because when you're playing one-touch football, you have to always move. Like, you know, you always have to be available.
That's why I was making the comparison, because I was saying, like, back then we had 3 forward players who their objective was to score a goal. It doesn't matter which one of them was scoring the goal. but the objective was to score. But if you look at our front line in particular right now, the objective is not to score a 1 goal. The objective is for who is going to be the hero today. You know what I mean? And and for me, that's not based on the fact that football changed. That's based on the player not being a team player, right? Because I feel like if he was a team player and he passed the ball more, because like 9 out of 10 times we watched the game tonight, we had 32 chances in front of goal, right? And if you look at some of these shots Rashford took, players literally standing right in front of him. It's not like if the ball was going to teleport through the player or anything like that. So, in my opinion, it's like decision making.
You have to excuse me. We have Football Power Hour. He's on mute. I don't know if he's alive.
Yeah,
I'm
trying to figure out.
I'm alive. I'm listening to the conversation and enjoing it while I'm on a walk.
Let's hear your opinion on that, Papi, because you see, I'm not trying to be like Rashford centric.
It is, yes.
I'm not trying to be like Rashford centric, but I'm just saying that I feel like our forwards need a different mindset when it comes to attacking in front of goal. It should be any one of us can score. It don't matter who.
Okay. So yes, I agree. It feels like our forwards, they have a certain sort of like selfishness, and we're you know, like we hear this phrase a lot, moments FC, and we are partially the creators of that situation, because look at our wingers. Our wingers sort of have this selfish mentality of sort of wanting to be the hero. And of course we want heroes in the team, but like if our attackers always looked for the extra pass in the box, we would simplify things so much. Marcus Rashford taking a shot when you're what does that mean? Like when there's like 2 players in front of you and you're still shooting, it means Rashford believes like some of these players must be like Casper the Ghost or something, like the ball is going to go through them, and it doesn't make sense how many times. Oh, that's slippery. It doesn't make sense how many times we try to force things. We force things so much, and I just want you know, like the thing how when you watch how Tadic used to play, how Ajax was playing under Ten Hag, it was like the forwards always found each other. I just miss that football. It just feels like we complicate things for ourselves too much, and that's why we're having Højlund today. Like, you know, he's starving. He needs to be learning how to do better on headers. You know, we need to keep crossing a little bit, like more, you know, trying to use his aerial ability more, and we don't do that. Our wingers are just, you know, inside forwards. They're not really wingers. We need wingers who can cross.
Does that mean in general, not just only wingers, and we're looking at the midfield and the wingers in attack, there always used to be a chemistry that, you know, you always know where you have each other, no matter what. Like I know that, you know, Berbatov is going to run there, like I'll just flick it over there, X, Y, Z. We don't have that. It looks like we don't even know each other on the pitch.
We don't know each other. You remember there was that moment when Højlund actually he drilled a cross just to the near post. If somebody was there, like there's not that chemistry, that connection that I know that when you have the ball in this position in the box, I'm going to be here. Look for me in this area. That's how teammates play. That's how guys that train together, they make these patterns. They kind of create these, you know, telepathic understandings. You know, Mick is mentioning how the Arsenal touch and move. It's like, they've been practicing that, and it shows on the pitch, and we don't see that in our club, and we're complicating things. And football feels like, yes, it's changed. Fullbacks are used differently, etc. Building up from the back, we're seeing that a lot more in the Premier League than ever. But we're also just making it difficult for ourselves. You know, that's my thought on that topic.
They're not bowling out to the abilities. That's what I'm trying to say. They are. Too nervous to make mistakes, so they just play it safe, you know. But we know there's.
I do have that question, you know, with Eric Ramsey, where he's meant to be helping out with set plays, and he just seems to completely neglect corners and forward set plays. He seems to be working with the back four, but the back four are always injured, so he never gets to consistently work with the back four either.
No, true that.
Do you think that might be the case when it comes to Eric Ramsey?
I just think Eric Ramsey needs to get
get rid
fired.
of get rid of him and find someone else.
I think he needs to be fired. Like we fired Oli, we should have fired all the coaching staff that he brought with him because they are all rubbish.
We've evolved into a hybrid system. So we do a mix of a zonal marking and a mix of man marking. It's the most ridiculous system I've ever seen. And I don't like zonal marking anyway. You know, as a centre half, you should always man mark because you can get hold of your player then, and then you know. So if the player runs off,
you should also, as a midfielder, you should have zonal awareness as well. Like 100%.
Yeah, 100%.
You know?
Oh, don't, because if you say that, then I'm going to upset my husband here. He's not really my husband. He's just my online husband.
YouTube husband.
Where I go, like Maguire, he can't scan for no one.
Yeah, she does. Yeah, she does. I have to close my ears off to that one. Just a quick one on what Pappy was saying about the Højlund in particular. He's absolutely right, Pappy, is because, and the reason all this is happening is because the crosses aren't coming in. Højlund isn't able to time his run. So if Højlund's between the two centre halves, as soon as that ball gets wrapped, Højlund should be on his bike. He should be ready. And he should be a yard or 2 yards ahead of the two centre halves. That would give him a clean header. He's not quite there yet. He doesn't quite understand the timing of where he needs to be as the ball's delivered. He needs to work on that. But we don't cross the ball anyway, so he's never going to work on his timing. But Pappy, you're right.
He has got a very, very big point when it comes to very selfish forwards.
Oh yeah.
Garnacho, I'll forgive Garnacho because he's so young, and I think Bruno's the one that's always going to be saying that you shouldn't be doing it, and he's the one who's going to be drilling it into him from the future.
Garnacho, at least
Anthony is probably the weirdest one out of the bunch, where he just can't. He always has to stick to that left foot of his. It's like the right foot doesn't exist. Every time he goes forward, he keeps on making delirious shots off target or on target because he won't pass to anybody else. I feel like he's lost all his confidence, so he's just going, I'm just going to do what I'm going to do on my own. And because Erik ten Hag loves him, he's just getting to do it. But at this moment in time, he's favouring Rashford.
Which is good.
He's been told, or is this because he's third on the list of the wages? He's an asset player. He's been told you have to play Rashford because he's the poster boy. Maybe,
but it's a figure. If you look at it, it's like a figure of 8 when it comes to our forwards. Everyone's going round in an 8, but nothing's going into the goal, and that's the problem. And it's exposing Højlund, potentially exposing Martial if you actually want to pretend that he's there. That's the problem.
No, it is exposing them for sure. Guys, it's midnight here.
I'm going to have to go.
Midnight? What are you complaining about? It's morning for me. It's
I suppose
7 o'clock in the morning.
7 o'clock.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've got training in the morning, so I've got to go.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, I've got an early meeting, Jim, an early meeting. So make sure you keep my side of the bed warm, sweetheart. I shall.
I'm going to crash now. It's 7 a.m. in the morning in Thailand at the moment, so I'm just going to go crash.
Oh my goodness, Nick, well done.
Yeah, it's one of those days, and lucky we haven't.
On.
Yeah, you're welcome. It's good to see you. Happy to have you on, and hopefully you welcome back again. And thank you for having the courage to be next to your YouTube husband, by the way. But don't file for divorce papers because I need you both back on the show.
We are going to have a divorce. She bloody pulled on a Zimmer frame gag on the Devil's Advocate. Gag up. I mean, come on.
Yeah. We forgot to discuss about the first goal, Diego De Lo, because I thought it was a beautiful taken goal, by the way.
Yeah, he does beautiful goals.
That was a beautiful goal. And just to remind people, thank you for participating in the poll. We did a man of the match, and Kobbie Maino finished up on 81%.
Yes.
Papi, thank you for doing the watch along. You slaved. You went for a nice walk with your dog, probably.
Yes.
How's your dog? Good.
Dog is happy. Dog is happy. You happy, buddy? Right? We happy, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
No, you're not the one today.
Yeah, wicked. Listen, guys, thank you for coming in.
Subscribe.
Yeah. No, it was a good day at the office. We won. We were chilled. We had a good, nice conversation. Good to talk football. Good to talk a little bit more deep. Good to talk to you, Vicky, as well. Mark, good morning to you. It is 7 o'clock in the morning to me, so you will not see me in the morning for the morning show, guys. Guys, until then, where can people find you, Vicky?
Oh,
I don't want them to stalk you. I mean, sorry, not.
No, you can just see me on it. What do we call it? X or Twitter? I don't know. I'm so
X.
old.
Twitter.
What do you say, you're old?
Oh, I'm 40 in a couple of weeks.
14,
you're not that old, aren't you?
No, you're not that old. Again.
Life begins at 40.
Is it?
Anyway.
Good.
I heard that statement.
Just go follow Vicky on Twitter or X, whatever it's called, Witcherbird84, isn't it? Or yeah, I follow you now, so you can follow me back. Yeah, follow me back if you want. Yeah, let's follow each other anyway, guys. I don't even know half of you like in the chat. Like, please follow us if you want to join the Telegram members chat. Continue there. The link is in the video description. So join the Telegram.
Oh, I really like Telegram, so I have to do that.
It's awesome. Yeah. So welcome, join the Telegram group as well. And yeah, thank you for guys for coming in. And I am absolutely knackered and looking forward to have a sleep. So
good night.
Thank you. Good night. Thank you for watching. And Poppy, good morning. Yes.
Oh,
Thanks,
it's
guys,
evening.
for coming
It's
in.
7 p.m. over here, So
Yeah, we're 12 hours apart, man.
I know. It's wild, but yeah, big up. Thank you, everybody that's tuned in and that commented, that hit the like button, that was also there for the watch along. And it was not an easy game. It was an easy game, but it was not an easy game to watch. That's what I wanted to say. So
okay.
Yeah.
We see you to Spurs game. We see. Are we going to cook some Spurs? Are we going to fry some Spurs? We will see.
Hopefully,
Anyway,
we'll make some
good night,
Nando's.
people. Take it easy. What do we
See you
say
guys.
here? Peace, love, banana. We go again. All right. Cheers. Thank you so much. Good night. We
Cheers, everyone. Good night.
See you guys. Bye bye.
What? Oh, where's my end button? Yeah, I end the stream. Bye.